Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And got an interesting one for you today because I was saying earlier, a month or so ago, that half of all restaurants could close. I think that was an understatement. And I think realistically you could see 2/3 of all restaurants go out of business, especially with the latest things that have been happening. And I want to cover all that, a bunch of national news for you. We start our day here at Newport Beach very early. Tide's out, got the surfers out, got the metal detector cats out there trying to find buried treasure. Before I forget, please don't forget to like the video. Please hit the subscribe button and share it with all your friends and colleagues. Let's get into it. Restaurants are having a very difficult time, and as we start to reopen and as people start to write me saying it's great in my town, restaurants are packed, everything is good, they're starting to see major challenges. And there's a great story and a great link I'll share below about how some restaurants are charging reservation fees and non-refundable fees and minimums. There is a restaurant called the Turkey Leg Hut in Chicago that has a minimum. And the minimum is $100 per person. And I'll show this to you guys because it's preposterous. But think about this. You're going to go out to dinner and, you know, nothing's better than going out to dinner. You know, you meet friends, whether it's business, family members, whatever, and you go to a place, everybody's enjoying themselves, people pick what they want, you know, the normal things. Well, imagine being told that you're going to have to spend a minimum of $100 per person. Okay? I mean, it's preposterous. When I flew to Miami last month, you know, we had a meeting on that Friday night, and they were like, hey, Dan, why don't you make the reservation? That way, you know, with your flight and with your schedule, you'll know exactly when you're going to, you know, be in. And, you know, we won't make it too early. You know, you won't be late, whatever. Well, okay, I made the reservation. And flying from California to Miami, we got it a little late. But the restaurant insisted that there was a $50 non-refundable fee for the reservation. I thought, wow, well, we better be eating here because if you change your mind, within 48 hours prior to the reservation, they're going to charge you $50. So that in itself is preposterous. But you're seeing restaurants that are having these minimums, $100 per person. And there's a man in the article, Mr. Tolsky, that said, hey, listen, we were probably going to spend $250 on dinner between the three of us, but to be told that I have to guarantee them $300 is ridiculous. You're going to see people not go to these restaurants. It's going to happen. They're not going to choose to go out. They're not going to choose to eat. The prices are sky high. The portions are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And, you know, so have you guys ran into this? Have you guys ran into minimums yet at restaurants? And I personally don't think it's going to work. I think that the key to the restaurant business is very simple. It's quick service, turning tables, having people spend as much as possible, getting the alcohol and the wine orders up because people spend more money on booze. I mean, it's very simple. And yeah, ours is about the experience, Dan. Okay, great. The food's fantastic here, excellent, whatever. Well, what you need to have is you need to have, you know, the experience and have people want to go back and have it be safe right now. Whether that's the case or not, you know, I'm going to have people write me and tell me how great it is in their city and that there's, you know, everybody's out, everybody's working, everybody's, you know, waiting in line to go to these restaurants. But would you spend $100 minimum at some of these places? This just goes on and on and on. So I'm going to show you that reservation card that they had at this restaurant and just run through some of their rules. It's kind of ridiculous. Let me show you that first. Now here's that reservation policy at the Turkey Leg Hut that you're going to see more and more of. You got $100 minimum per person. You have to cancel your reservation 48 hours early. You've got a 2-hour limit, so eat, give us $400 and get out of here. One check, all deposits are non-refundable. Deposit will not be refunded. They've said this like 3 times in this thing, but again, it's so ridiculous. Feel free to freeze this and read it. It's preposterous. I can't even read that and not laugh because it's that ridiculous. Imagine these rules that you're gonna, oh, this is the minimum you're gonna pay. Okay, well, again, restaurants are in real trouble because the idea is the experience. The idea is going out. It's not, supplies. It's not shipping. It's not, hey, if you guys buy from us, and companies do this all the time. Hey, listen, we have a minimum order, okay? Well, that works great for B2B products and supplies and things like that, but it doesn't work good at food. Hey, we got $100 minimum for you to walk in our restaurant. Who's gonna do that? And again, it goes to quality, it goes to service, it goes to everything else. You remember the story last month with the tuna at Subway and how it's not tuna, and then Subway issued that ridiculous statement saying, well, when you cook tuna, it changes the DNA, which, again, I had lunch with a scientist this last week who just laughed and said, how do you change the DNA by heating something? Okay, so there's that. It's not tuna, okay? But this led to other stories, and people send me other things. Red Lobster and certain other restaurants talk about lobster bisque, okay? And they did tests on these different lobsters and determined that there's not a lot of lobster in lobster bisque. Red Lobster in particular, they used half a dozen different restaurants, did sampling, pressed out all the lobster that was in the lobster bisque, sent it off to lab testing, and determined that it was a third lobster. The rest of it was basically langostino. What's langostino? Comes from the snail family, looks like a big shrimp. I don't know, like 15 years ago, Sizzler, the restaurant chain, they just advertised we have langostino on our menu like it was a big deal. So they're ugly looking shrimp that are not lobster, and they're a knockoff taste for lobster. So again guys, I think that the restaurants are in huge trouble. Thigh Stop instead of Wingstop. The problems with getting product is and supplies and materials. It's the worst business in the world because think about this. No matter what you buy, food inevitably goes bad. It just doesn't last forever. The only business I can think of that would be worse would be the flour business, because that, you cut a flour and it's done. So anyways, share your thoughts. I know you guys will. Down below, please do that, and the stories will be down there also. The other thing is that shuttered, or not the shuttered, but the restaurant revitalization grant. 2/3 of the people that applied for this thing did not get the money. It's been a complete debacle. The SBA says, isn't it wonderful that all these people applied? No, the thing was 3 months late, 3 months of getting this thing off the ground. And then they promised it to women, minorities, and people in small income areas, and they got sued. So again, this is like everything else. Once you find out who got the funding, then you're going to determine if they're friends, family members, somebody's idiot cousin who knew somebody at the SBA got the money before somebody else did. And if that's the case, that's terribly unfair. So we're going to find this stuff out soon enough, okay? Do you guys know of anybody that got that grant? Share your thoughts, because I know friends, family members, clients, people that didn't get it, that thought they were going to get it and got aced out of it. So share your thoughts on that. It's always nice to come walk out here early, get a cup of coffee, see the surfers, see the people setting up their real estate with their pop-ups and things like that. But Newport Beach lately has got its trials and tribulations with homeless and people sleeping out here, and I'll show you guys some of that. But next story is about the stimulus payments. And the IRS just issued all its numbers on who got what, how much, and it is shocking to find out that a lot of people that made over 200 grand a year got a stimulus check, which they were never supposed to get. Okay? The cutoff was supposed to be 150 grand for a couple, and there are people that with their adjusted income of over 200 grand got these checks. And what we're seeing is that 163.5 million stimulus checks have already been sent out. Now, I'm gonna have people say, Dan, I never got my second one, I never got the third one. The problem with these debit cards is that they came in non-discrete white envelopes. They changed it on the third one to make it so it was a little bit more non-discrete, where they had red writing that said, stimulus payment on it, basically. So if you have not received 1, 2, or 3, and you feel you were eligible for it, there is a thing called recovery rebate, and you can get that. But you guys have seen a lot of people that were not supposed to get this money that ended up getting this money. And, share your thoughts. Again, if you didn't get it, you can still get it. There are people that are basically now on Social Security that may have moved, that were married, not married anymore, a lot of different things. Didn't have kids, now they have kids. People like that could have gotten this money. So I'm right outside 21 Oceanfront. But take a look at that. Also, they're requiring some people to file a return. It may have a 0 return, but it would be the difference of you getting your rebate check or your stimulus check. So take a look at that. But again, this area's got, a homeless problem just like every place else. Okay, it's this restaurant. Most people can't afford it. It's just crazy. I can't remember the last time I ate there. Okay, I think I had drinks there 18 years ago or whatever. Anyways, outrageous. But outside this place, you've got people sleeping on the sand. Let me show it to you. And I get people that write me and make comments and say, oh, there's nothing bad in Orange County. You don't show it. Well, guys, I'm at Newport Pier, and there's a tent over here. You've got, easily a dozen people sleeping out here, and they're not, tourists. These are homeless people that are hitting the pier. And, it's early in the morning, so not a lot of the restaurants are open. The coffee place is open. You got, Charlie's Chili's open early. But, this is everywhere, guys. It's absolutely everywhere that you're seeing this. And there's cops out here, and they're not doing anything. So that's a sign of the times, guys. Absolutely sign of the times of how bad things are. But you do have people sleeping out here.
I don't know. I just said water.
And here you got people going about their day, and what is there, 10 people out here sleeping? There's 21 Oceanfront, guys. Oh, very expensive restaurant. Just got people sleeping out right in front of the pier. Now, to keep on the restaurant theme, do you guys still have these outdoor eating areas? Here in Newport Beach, they're keeping them because, let's face it, if it's a nice day and you want to sit in the sun, people are starting to stay out here more and more. And we're seeing that. And they're keeping them clean. Like this one is for the beach ball only. But restaurants are having a real difficult time hiring people. And there's a story out of CNBC that's pretty good, talking about the employee retention credit, the ERC. And this can give you up to $7,000 in credits to have employees stay with you. And you can use this credit to offset payroll taxes, and it can go to the beginning of the pandemic. And people are using that. So you're starting to see people get more and more creative. Amazon, you know, not restaurant related, but they just announced if you won't go and work there in certain positions, it's $1,000 signing bonus. McDonald's, if you go and work there, $400 for some of their stores for certain positions. And you're seeing more and more and more things like that. You know, bonuses to interview. You know, are you guys seeing this stuff where you guys live? I know people are gonna write me and say, no, in Des Moines, Iowa, it's so busy, we can't, get things straight. You know, again, all these problems, Chipotle, all these different places, you can read the story below, but you're seeing more and more of these places that are having these, retention bonuses, stay here for so many pay periods and you get paid. It's just sign of the times right now. People want something that's going to give them higher wages. McDonald's has had to raise its wage to $15 an hour in most cities to be competitive and to get people to stay on. And that's what we're seeing. I just think, again, it goes to price, value, service, and the normal things like any other business. If people aren't happy with the service, they're not going to stay there. And the employees, you want good people there. But it's also nice to see this place early. Mutt Lynch's, for those of you that know the area. You guys can get a drink early if you'd like. You guys can go to surf camp, hang out, learn to surf. You know, one thing that I see quite a bit of is, even in cities like Newport Beach, you see the closures, okay, just happening. And, as I researched this, it didn't matter if it was Yuma, Arizona, Sarasota, Tacoma, Washington. I mean, every area has been hit by this. And you can sit there and say, oh, hey, it's no big deal. It's just, pandemic related. But again, guys, look at that corner unit. That corner unit is fantasy land when it comes to, and the place next door to it's done too. I mean, as far as tourist area, this is where you want to be, right here. So, didn't really make a bit of difference down here, because if they can't make it here, they're not going to make it too many other places. So, but you're seeing this in every city, and it doesn't matter what's going on. The next problem with real estate is with real estate and with the restaurants. A lot of these restaurants, and people that I talk to, some are honest. We haven't made a rent payment in 15 months. Okay, well, again, what do you think is going to happen with this stuff? Some people got that grant from the restaurant revitalization. A lot of people that haven't paid their rent and mortgages. You're going to see a lot of restaurants go out of business during this time that just haven't paid their rent. They can't meet expenses. What's going to happen? So, are you guys seeing this in your area? Because I am, but we just haven't seen that part of it catch up to everything yet. It's going to. Retail is taking a hit. You saw El Paseo in Palm Desert take a huge hit. JB just told me that businesses that were open a month and a half ago when we walked through El Paseo are now closed because it's not their season and they are finished. So you're going to see more and more of that stuff. Share your thoughts, guys. You can see under the pier how low the tide is today. I'm going to end this video with this one last story, and that is this. There are a tremendous amount of people that were on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, that ridiculous game show, that got PPP loans. Now you may ask, how did they do that? Well, when the latest PPP loan program was changed, and they changed it to where basically sole proprietors could get $20,000 and pay themselves back, a lot of these people took advantage of this. And they used even things like their Instagram following, They use their own personal charities, their own media companies, which is them and their Instagram account, and got themselves $20,000. Taisha Adams, she got herself $20,833. You've got Colton Underwood, that tool from a couple years ago. He said he had a fundraiser that they had to cancel, and they used the money for that. Again, guys, it was never intended for this. And yeah, there's a lot of individuals that got it, a lot of restaurants that got it. I have a lot of people that reach out to me and say, Dan, do you know if XYZ got a PPP loan? And with that little tool, you can look it up, and it's fairly simple. You can get the numbers and see who got what, but what's shocking is the people that got money and are out of business. Lauren Burnham, she's married to Ari Lyondike Jr. They have 200,000 followers on Instagram, and they got $20,000 on PPP money. Again, guys, this is not what this was intended for. It's preposterous, and the story's below. It's out of everybody's favorite Yahoo News, so you guys can see that. Do you know of anybody that got a PPP loan that wasn't supposed to? And people can argue and say these people were entitled to get it. But again, this was designed for payroll. This was not designed for somebody, some horrible influencer on a game show that went and got themselves money. I think that show's ridiculous, by the way. If you guys want my opinion more, I can expand on that. But again, share your thoughts. Even Newport Beach has got hit with a homeless problem, guys. So it happens everywhere. People say, you never show it in the nice areas. Well, it's here, okay? So please don't forget to like the video. Please hit the subscribe button. And again, I think 2/3 of all the restaurants are gonna go out of business. All these latest things from minimums and reservation fees and I don't know, I could go on. Plus, they got to pay their rent soon. So share your thoughts, guys. Onward and upward. Hope everybody's well. Don't forget to like the video, hit the subscribe button, share it with all your friends and colleagues. Please share your thoughts in the video comments below, and I will see you guys very soon.